Welcome to our coverage of the Dee Eskridge suspension. Recently, he received a 6-game ban for violating the NFL's conduct policy. In his first media appearance since the suspension, Eskridge issued a general apology without divulging specifics due to the ongoing legal process. Today, we'll analyze the implications for his future with the Seattle Seahawks, delving into the layers of Eskridge's situation. Stay tuned for a comprehensive breakdown. Background on Eskridge's career and suspension. Dee Eskridge was selected by the Seattle Seahawks in the second round with the 56th overall pick of the 2021 NFL Draft. He was part of the front office regime under GM John Schneider and head coach Pete Carroll. The Seahawks traded up to grab Eskridge, giving up a fourth-round pick to take the receiver out of Western Michigan. At the time, the selection was met with intrigue and upside given Eskridge's athletic profile. He clocked a blazing fast 4.38 40-yard dash time at his pro day. Eskridge also offered versatility to contribute as a receiver, gadget play weapon, and dynamic return specialist. In his final collegiate season, he averaged nearly 22 yards per kick return, which would have ranked second in the entire NFL. Additionally, he scored touchdowns receiving, rushing, and on kickoffs, showcasing big play upside. These factors made Eskridge an enticing pick despite raw route running ability. Unfortunately, his first 2 NFL seasons have largely underperformed so far relative to draft pedigree and expectations. Injuries have severely hampered his ability to get onto the field. As a rookie, Eskridge suffered a toe injury early on and was limited to just 10 games with essentially no contributions. Last season, he showed flashes of productivity, but again went up injured, this time with a broken thumb. All told, in 2 years, Eskridge has played just 20 of 33 possible games, and his production has left a lot to be desired, tallying only 17 receptions for 122 yards and 1 touchdown. Entering 2022, there was guarded optimism surrounding Eskridge with reports he was making strides as a receiver. Under new offensive coordinator Shane Waldron, some believe this could be the long-awaited breakout season. Then the shocking personal conduct suspension put everything on hold. By violating the policy to garner a 6-game ban, Eskridge demonstrated immaturity and lost trust with an organization that traded up to select him. His career now hangs very much in the balance moving forward. Initial apology and comments. Last month, Dee Eskridge made his first public comments since the suspension was handed down. He spoke briefly to a small gathering of local media members and issued a formal yet vague apology regarding the still undisclosed incident. Reading from a prepared statement, Eskridge began by acknowledging he made a mistake that led to the 6-game suspension. He expressed regret over the situation and generally took accountability for poor actions on his part. The second-year receiver stated he understands the gravity of personal conduct violations and the disappointment this caused. Regarding specifics, he declined to offer details due to what he termed an ongoing legal process. But Eskridge made clear he is not seeking to avoid responsibility or shift blame elsewhere. He stated unequivocally that he finds his own conduct unacceptable. Additionally, the suspended player revealed he has been attending counseling sessions twice per week over the past month. He framed the sessions as an opportunity for deeper self-reflection into the factors that contributed to the incident. Eskridge characterized this as a chance to grow, not just as a football player, but more importantly, as a human being. He also made sure to express gratitude for the support he's received from the Seahawks organization during this time. Eskridge singled out head coach Pete Carroll along with GM John Schneider and several veteran teammates. He stated their guidance and mentorship have helped him begin to turn the corner and take steps forward. In closing his statement, Eskridge vowed to approach this as a learning experience. He promised he would aim to develop greater discipline and wisdom so as to never allow an incident like this to occur again. The receiver stated his goal is to ultimately regain the trust of coaches, teammates, and Seahawks fans. Upon completion of the statement, Eskridge opened the floor briefly for media questions. However, he refrained from answering inquiries seeking specifics on the victim, incident details, or legal proceeding status. After less than 10 minutes, he politely thanked reporters while Dee Eskridge declined to offer details publicly. He took a small step in the right direction by making himself available to the media and acknowledging his actions in a general sense. He expressed what seemed like authentic regret and remorse by issuing an apology. Eskridge stated he is committed to learning, growing, and using this experience to better himself as a person. Actions speak louder than words, however. The fact is, Eskridge put himself in a compromising position that violated clear personal conduct standards. So, while his comments hit the right notes, he damaged trust with the organization. He will need to demonstrate meaningful growth through consistent behavior changes. Additionally, one wonders if this pattern of poor decisions is reflective of larger issues. As a high draft pick, expectations were set high both on and off the field as a face of the franchise. But, between underwhelming play and now a suspension, it's fair to question Eskridge's reliability and decision-making. Still only 25 years old, there is room for maturity, but concerning trends are developing. Turning to football, Eskridge now faces extremely difficult odds to remain on Seattle's roster beyond 2022. Regime change brought a new coaching staff and front office who owe Eskridge nothing as a player they inherited. They selected him 40-plus picks earlier than his talent indicated. To this point, just 17 catches for 122 yards has provided terrible return on investment. GM John Schneider and Pete Carroll saw special teams upside that swayed them to draft Eskridge that highly. But new GM John Jones has no such elevated evaluation, and Eskridge's inability to stay healthy leaves little indication he can consistently contribute in the return game either. In all, barring an exceptional preseason showing, Jones would have grounds to cut Eskridge without it being an indictment of his own evaluation skills. The receivers' room now has plenty of depth to absorb that loss. Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, and Marquise Goodwin sit atop the depth chart with rookie Derek Young, Penny Hart, and others competing for final spots too. In the end, Eskridge's redemption and career continuation may come down to special teams play. That was his original appeal and perhaps his last remaining skill to offer Seattle. But banking on upside requires trust, something he lost through not only poor production but now an unacceptable off-field mistake as well. Big question marks cloud his future as a Seahawk. Looking ahead, Eskridge's path back to football. While Dee Eskridge's comments today represented a small step, the path back to his football career remains long and uncertain. Even if he makes personal growth during counseling and serving his suspension, roster obstacles await upon his return. The sheer depth of talent at receiver makes cracks hard to find. Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf are undisputed starters, with Marquise Goodwin likely the number 3 option. Rookie Derek Young has drawn raves in camp as a potential impact player. Penny Hart and Cade Johnson round out the group battling for jobs. Plus, newly signed veteran RB Melvin Gordon and emerging TE Noah Fant bolster passing game weapons. With only so many offensive touches to go around weekly, Eskridge faces stiff competition. His best and possibly only lifeline is special teams. Few current Seahawks can match Eskridge's raw speed and open field juice. Under a new regime with fresh eyes, he must make that explosive playmaking impossible to ignore. Allowing your fastest athlete to exit would seem unlikely if he shows out as a returner. Additionally, while rare, he could consider a position change, such as converting to defensive back. His experience in Seattle's system offers little advantage if he's not putting it to use at receiver. Given his talents, a position switch could represent a creative second chance to have NFL impact. Of course, we are getting way ahead of ourselves. Eskridge remains barred from team activities for another month due to suspension. But in the background, developing a plan of attack for re-earning a role must begin. Uphill roster battles await the embattled receiver upon his return. In closing, there are clearly still many layers left to unfold when it comes to the Dee Eskridge suspension story. Important questions remain about his future in Seattle and ability to make amends. We promise that we'll continue to keep you fully updated every step of the way throughout the legal process and return to football activities. For now, please remember to like, subscribe, and turn on alerts to receive the latest breaking news and analysis on this situation. Thanks again so much for tuning in. We truly appreciate your viewership and support. We look forward to seeing you next time.